Hello everyone, I hope you stay warm and safe today. I want to talk about how we can add bibliography in a more automated and simpler way, hopefully, to aid your paper writing. Okay, so let's see the screen here. We are now on Google Scholar. This is not actually a recommended resource I would um, ask you to have for finding specific articles. However, once you've, let's say, identified a particular citation that you want to use, and you wonder how you can have a formatted citation, right, easily added to your paper, okay, here is the thing that you can do. Go to Google Scholar, find that specific paper that you probably have found somewhere else, let's say in JSTOR, and then once you have the paper there, let's say here it's a book, just an example, just click on this button, okay? And you see here, it's all formatted citations. And the one we're using for class is APA. So just click once, this, and then copy it. You can do Ctrl+C or Command+C depending on whether you're using Mac or Windows. And then here you go, Ctrl+V. I'm using Windows, and you have it, okay? Another trick is that if, say, you're using Times New Roman, whatever other fonts, I would recommend that you change the font eventually instead of using this keep text only, because then you lose the formatting for italics here. Okay, and that is one way that we can add references at the end of a document. Okay, let's talk about another way. It's more automated, but sometimes it's actually more effort as well. So depending on whether you have more citations or not, and whether you want to sometimes permanently manage some of your references, you could choose or not to. You could choose to use it or not. So here I want to introduce this particular program called Mendeley. So Mendeley is a software tool for you to automatically manage your citations. And first of all, you need to download the software. It's really simple. Just Google Mendeley and you will go to the download page. And then you need, it's free, by the way. And also you need to register, okay, with an account. So for example, here I have an account. So let's see what happens if I sign in. Okay. And then here, this is an interesting window that's popping up. So what happens with Mendeley? Okay, it asks you to have a citation plugin for Microsoft Word. I would go ahead and do it, install now. I do assume that you are, what's going on here? Oh, also I have to close it first. That's good. Don't save. I assume that you have Word installed. If you don't, it's actually available for free through Cornell IT. Okay, just Google it. Okay, installed. Great. So do not show this message anymore. Close. And interestingly here, you see, I already have a lot of papers and probably books as well in the past that I compiled. So one good thing about Mendeley, the idea is that, for instance here, maybe I have some projects that I've been working on, and all of these folders are actually, you can believe that you can see them as fake folders in the sense that you can put the same article or same document into multiple of them just for organizational purposes, and they don't actually occupy any more storage on your computer, interestingly enough. It's just one way for you to organize the files, okay? That's the first thing. And second, what exactly does Mendeley do? So for example, here, these are books. Let's just go to let's say my area concentration exam on networks. And let's just find a random paper here, the structure of scientific collaboration networks, okay? And then you see on the right-hand side, interestingly, it gives you the information about the paper. Title, author, with a specific format, right? Journal name and all of this information, including abstract and stuff. And so what happens then is, if, for example, I'm writing a paper and I want to cite this particular paper, Newman 2001, in my in-text citation, let's see. So I blah, 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 wrote something, and then I decided to add a citation. What happens is if you click here, reference, and then you see there is Mendeley here, okay? Insert citation, or, and this is the Mendeley. See, you would only have it after you have the plugin, or you can do Alt-N, which is probably quicker, and you see a little window there. And I want to cite Newman 8, it just pops up. The structure of scientific collaboration networks. Nice. And I double click it. Look, it's here. And interestingly, your in-text citation will have this kind of automated, gray color to it because it is automatically integrated. What do I mean by that is, so for example, when you are finished with all your texts, and you want to, this is for in-text citation, right? You want to add a bibliography, just click here, insert a bibliography, and automatically here, it pops up. And you might be wondering, where can I manage how does Mendeley know that I want APA? It's here, see? Mendeley allows you to choose different formats. You can use American Sociological Association or Psychological Association. I think we're using APA for class. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's ASA. I believe usually it's APA. Personally, I also use Chicago or Harvard, so it's all good. Sometimes you can use Nature, but this is a simple way for you to make sure that the in-text citations and the reference categories would always correspond to each other, okay? And but one tricky thing is you might want to ask, like, where do all of these citations come from, right? Obviously, I added them somewhere, right? So what actually happens is with Mendeley, for instance, you could have a Google Chrome or IE like plugin. And then when you go to a website like JSTOR, let's go to Mendeley. When you go to a website like JSTOR, there will be a small note here that tells you, that suggests that you add it automatically to the reference here, okay? And that is one traditional way of doing it. Although actually over time, personally, I feel, especially for scientific papers, a lot of times what happens is that the automated recognition for Mendeley reference information could be wrong, could be misguided. And so what do I do is, to get more accurate information, I indeed rely on something here. Look, for any paper, look at here. There's this information. Please follow. Catalog IDs, DOI. I think DOI is actually a really useful way of correctly extracting scientific paper reference information. Let's say I'm interested in education and health. And okay, I found this paper here. Maybe it's a PDF, hopefully not. Oh, it is a PDF. Then I can't extract the DOI. Sorry, let me have another example. Education and Smoking. It's a paper written by one of the professors in our department, actually, at Cornell. So, Vito Marilani, and let's go and find this paper. Understanding the link. Right, great. Okay. go to Cornell website, and eventually it directs me to this nice page. Okay, it's not a terribly nice page, a little bit primitive, but okay, let's see. Okay, great. Then what will happen here? So if you have Mendeley, usually, because Mendeley is actually supported by this company, so usually the correct information will pop up, but I no longer use it. So instead, what I do these days is I manually, because I think it actually saves me energy and time, copy this thing. Okay, Ctrl-C here, DOI. And then I go back to Mendeley. I press add. Oh, not this one. Sorry, I haven't used it for a while. Import. Add entry manually. Yeah, it sounds like the most laborious, but it's actually the smartest, I think. I don't know, just out of my own experience. Okay, lookup successful. Look, all of this information. And the important thing is, and you might want to, for example, add this paper to other files too, but it will always still appear here. Because all of these, as I said, are fake files. That's a good thing. You can put this file into multiple folders here. And the good thing about using DOI is that I have never encountered an error with it. Whereas with other methods, a lot of times there are problems with Mendeley, okay? And another thing to note that is that Mendeley is not terribly good with books. And if you're a humanities major, you might want to explore instead what I find harder to use software. Even if I'm also a statistician, I find it kind of hard to use. But Zotero and also it's another reference management program. Actually, I think Olin Library has workshops on it. Yeah. Register for Introduction to Zotero, for example. You will find it support like that. And personally, I don't really use it, so I can't offer that much help about it. And so if you want to explore more information or use about this software, I think you can just search online. But in general, I think it could be a useful way if you have a lot of references, okay, or if you want to make it more systematic. Otherwise, Google Scholar is actually really nice too. Okay, just make sure that you remember to delete and add your bibliography as you change your in-text citation. Okay, hope you have a great day and a great weekend. Goodbye.